Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. We've got a nice little egg sac pulling to do today, and we've managed to get a successful sac off of one of our versicolors, our Caribena versicolor. Now these are, we've been quite successful with these, and I don't think we've had one where the sac was eaten, and I think we solved that little problem, and from then on we've had successful sacs time and time again. So they've been really good. Now this one was mated back on the 28th of the 12th 22, and we noticed the sac on the 28th of the 1st, so literally a month. So a month from pairing and she's produced a sac. So everything is really going well for these, bearing in mind that some of our spiders can take months and months before we get them to drop a sac. So these are actually moving really quickly. Now we've got another one that was paired on the same day and she is still yet to drop. So there is that time frame. You know, different individual spiders do different things. So it is quite interesting. Now another thing that's really shone out with this particular spider is you'll notice that the versicolor is an arboreal spider. This one has made her home on the floor, and you can see where this is all webbed up, and she is actually down in the bottom underneath this piece of bark here. She's gone right the way in. Now if I turn this around, we can see that there's a piece of bark on the back here, which is what we do normally. We put a piece in there, and if I turn it around, you'll see that she's not actually been in there at all. She's not bothered. She's not done anything in here at all. Now, one of the reasons this is probably evident is maybe with this particular spider, she prefers something that is a little bit tighter. So she can literally, she likes the security of a more enclosed space. Now many of our avics and the versicolors, they don't worry about it. We've never had an issue, but this one has actually shown that she prefers to be down on the floor. Maybe it's because there's just too much room behind this back piece and she just didn't like it. So it's something to bear in mind. So I think probably what we will do is, once we take this egg sac away today, well, fingers crossed it'll all be good, once we take it away, we will probably rehouse her, but give her a smaller piece of bark, and we'll see whether that makes any difference later on, whether she actually goes in there, because she has spent her whole time since being in this closure down on the floor, which is really unusual. Now before she actually paired, she would sit out on top of this piece of bark, so it's not like she's scared of heights or anything. You know, she's fine. But when she's webbed up, that's where she decided to web up. So it's really quite interesting. And it just goes to show that, you know, when we've got a spider, it doesn't always follow the rules. And it's not something that maybe that we're doing wrong. You know, it doesn't have to be something we're doing wrong. It's just an individual spider. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take this off. We've not managed to open this since she done all of this webbing. Because as you can see there, look, it's just pulling it apart. She's down in that corner, down in there. What we can do is we can pull this away and we can open this up. Now this gives us a really good opportunity to actually see this webbing. You can see what a beautiful mat it makes everywhere. And this also waterproofs the whole inside of that area. That whole nest site, everything in here is waterproof because of this webbing. Now if it had a really heavy rain, it would penetrate it, but for simple things like forest dew and things like that in the morning, it would actually be quite substantial, and it'd be enough to hold back that moisture. So what we're going to do now, we are going to try and find, she's right down in there. I don't think we've managed to see her yet, have we? You've seen her feet. Right. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the top off as well. We'll see if we can't. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this bit of bark back, because as you can see, down here there's absolutely nothing. So she's actually made a cocoon all in here. So we're going to pull this piece of bark back to see if we can't open this up a little bit. Just pull this back here. Got to be careful because when we pull the top up, we're actually putting pressure on the bottom. And we don't want to squash anything. As you can see there, we're literally just... Oh, that's so tight. Can we see the egg sac? Oh, we can. Right. Okay. You stay there. Oh, I see. Right, I'm going to see if I can get hold of it. Can you see that? What we're going to do... There we go. See, take it away nice and gently. Oh, I don't think it's any good. And there she is. You can see now she's pulling up at that. She's looking for somewhere to hide now. Right, it doesn't look like... I've got a feeling this is dried out inside. Which is a little bit... Doesn't have the weight that we normally see in our egg sacs. Yeah, just when I said we've been really lucky with these so far, they've been really good. Although it was interesting that she laid so quick. Yeah, you see, look. Now these actually look... These look like they're infertile. Yeah. And as you can see here, these eggs, yeah, these are all infertile. We've got nothing here at all. There was actually one there, and one there by the look of it. But everything else is infertile. Look at that. Very unusual. Oh, there's another one there. And as you can see, they didn't last very long. So literally 3. Yeah, she's come out to have a little look. She's probably a little bit, she might be a little bit thirsty. Okay. She probably wants a drink. See what she does. As you can see there, she hasn't actually lost much in the way of condition. She's in quite good condition. She's still a little bit there. Now it's interesting to see there how quick they will actually come out and start venturing around. He's on the move now. So that's a little bit of bad luck. The only thing we can hope for now is that the other sac that's she's taken her time to actually drop. Hopefully that one is fertile. Now we do have another female that we can pair up as well. In fact, we've got another 3 females that we can pair up, that we can get ready for. So we still have our mature male, so we can just wait and see really what happens. So that was a little bit unfortunate, But then this is the way it goes. This is what happens when we're trying to breed our spiders. It's not always plain sailing. And we've had a little bit of a run of mixed fortunes of late. This year so far, we've had quite a few successes that have come through. The actual the Post-molt have all proved to be really good this year. So they've come off and they've been quite successful. Our Cambridgei, she ate her sac, and I'm wondering now is whether she's quite old. And we've also got a very old Aminia, and she done the same. She ate her sac as well. So that's an interesting sort of thing, whether it's maybe something to do with age. We also had our Blondie, our Theraphosa Blondie. You'll remember when we paired them. She went all through everything, done the whole thing, and then she sealed herself away. So we were really super excited. And then she sealed herself off, and then within the week, I went in to check, and she had actually made the sac and dumped it in the water bowl. And when I took it out, it didn't smell too good, so it'd obviously been in there for a day or two. And all of the eggs were black, which said they were all bad. They were all really, really bad. So what caused that to happen? No idea. Maybe a fertility problem. Really not sure. Now she's coming up now. Where I've dribbled a little bit of water on the bark, she's looking like she's having a little look for it. She probably will feed now. So what we'll do in a moment, we'll give her some food in a little while and we'll give her a try. So on a good note, let's finish on a good note. We'll have a little look, a little recap on the last egg sac that we pulled, which was the Salem Ornamental. And here they are. Look at these. These are just popping into proper little slings now. Look at that. Lively little devils. And they're looking really, really good. So these will actually now, we can start looking at actually separating these guys now. And we'll get them all in their own individual little pots. And they'll be ready to find new homes. So this was a really, really cool success. We're really pleased with these. Very, very smart. There they go. You can see this one here. This one here is only just molted. You still see the white legs. You see the others are quite dark. It's lovely to see them at the different stages. Pretty much all of these have molted out now. So that was probably one of the last ones to go. Very, very cool. Well, actually, look at that one. That's even that one there. Look at this one here. Yeah, look. Very, very fresh. Now, an interesting thing to think of, when you've got slings like these guys will molt and they will have hardened up within a couple of hours and they're fully hard. So it's not until your spiders become big that does it take a long time for them to fully harden up. As slings, it all happens really, really fast. So within a couple of hours, these slings will have hardened up and they'll be back to normal, running around like little lunatics. Come tomorrow, 24 hours, we can feed them. So you don't have to wait as long for tiny slings because they harden up so fast. As we get onto juvies and things like that, we need a little bit longer before we feed them. And then when we get onto our big adults, things like our Theraphosa, our giant white-knee, for example, you would have seen recently, a little while ago, we saw the molting of her, and it took her around about 6 to 7 weeks to fully be mobile. A good 6 to 7 weeks. Now we often see on the groups and things, and they sit there and they turn around and say, oh, once your spider's molted out, give it a week, 10 days, it's ready to go. She takes 6 to 7 weeks to fully harden up and be completely mobile. And she will sit pretty motionless in all of that time. She'll only be moving a little bit. You might see come in here one day and she's facing the back of the tank. Come in another day, she's facing the front. But all she's done is moved around on that web mat. She's not done a lot. But when you look at her, you will see her legs are like Flopsy. You know, they're just laying out. They're not really doing anything. After 6, 7 weeks, she's sitting there and she's like solid, like a bulldog. So she's ready, poised for food. She's ready to go hunting. But up until that point, her legs, sometimes we came in and she was literally flat out, you know, sort of stargazing, like she was sunbathing. And yeah, quite funny to see. So you can watch this all going on over them period of weeks. And you sit there and after a while you sort of think to yourself, wow, is she ever going to get sorted out? You know? And we probably could have put a bit of food in, but it's not worth it, you know? Wait until they are fully ready. And I say, within 7 weeks, she was mobile again. And that's when we fed her. And she took a roach straight away. Happy as anything. Really, really cool. So monitor what your spider's doing. Remember, like we've said before, watch what they do and read the signs. Learn what they're telling you. And all will be well. Right, we're really, really pleased with these. I'm going to put the lid back on, get them back in the incubator. And then come this weekend, this will be Camera Lady's job. She will be separating these, getting them all into their own little pots. They'll go into the little sling pots, all individually, and they'll all be fed a maggot. And then we'll see how they go. We'll see which are the strong ones, which are the weak ones. Because, as we've said before, this is why these spiders have so many. Because there is a mortality rate. Now in captivity, we can pretty much get near enough 100% of our slings through. But you will still get the odd one every now and again that we lose. And sometimes them slings can go on until they're 2, 3, 4 centimetres then keel over. You know, we've got no real understanding of what it is that switches them off, as it were. You know, sometimes they just perish for no apparent reason. They can look in perfect shape and they still perish. And I think this is purely down to nature's way of controlling the numbers. You know, they have so many babies. In the wild, a lot of them would get predated on. In the wild, a lot of them would eat each other. You know, quite often or not, a spider's first meal is its brother or sister. So, you know, in the wild, the mortality rate is huge. In captivity, their first meal is going to be a maggot, hopefully. So, bear that in mind when you're looking after your slings. You know, it's it's not always down to what you do. Sometimes it's just nature. Right then, well, that's a little bit unfortunate and it's a bit sad that we didn't have a success there. I am truly gutted. I was really looking forward to them. Well, fingers crossed, we move on, we try again. We've got another one cooking away, so hopefully that will show us something. We've actually got many on egg sacs at the moment, so we're going to wait and see what pops out. We won't mention them just yet. We don't want to tempt fate. Right then, don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And I will see you soon, guys.